Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM22 story, The Head Coach, with me, Daniel. It's part 106 today, and we are back for what is essentially the pinnacle of club football, isn't it? We played in the Champions League final this year, and now against Bayern Munich, the best side on paper in European football, we've got a chance to win the Club World Cup. Now, don't forget, we beat Bayern in the Champions League semi-final a few episodes ago, but we did lose 3-0 away, both of the last two seasons. They dumped us out the year before. This is a very good side. They have got a couple of stars suspended, including Lucas Dennis, probably the best player in the world. But we've got a few injured, including our star Yakubu, Zolis, who would have been a first teamer, and those who could have competed that have returned from loan in the last few days. But of course, it's not just the Club World Cup final, it is the final game of our Manchester United career, because we will be moving to Real Madrid at the end of this episode. We'll do all the introductions and meet our new club tomorrow, but that deal will get negotiated. They've accepted a 7-day delay again, and after this final, we'll be turning our attention firmly to Spanish football, and what is actually a pretty big rebuilding job to be done there. So if you're looking forward to finding out if we can go out on the ultimate high or whether the game will fare as it should do on paper, then please do put a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe down below for daily FM22 content from two long-term stories. We've got a massive one from the Hemel Save tomorrow. It's a summer transfer special and it is exciting. There are lots of things going on, a fair few talking points there. I'm sure plenty of you will have something to say. In the meantime, you can find the latest episode of That in the Eye above. The Twitch channel and the football podcast is there too, as well as the new merchandise store. You've got till the 7th of May to get 5% off everything. The discount code is LOADFM5 at checkout. And finally, of course, you can support the show as a channel member down below by clicking the join button if you wish. But thank you, of course, for your incredible support as always. It is really appreciated. And today, we could basically complete the head coach in terms of trophies and what we want to win. The only thing I want to do then is rebuild a big club, and Real Madrid is the perfect candidate. Unless, of course, we beat Bayern and their job becomes available, because I'd like to manage a few of those players. But for now, we're back for the new season. It should be said, United have been signing some young players since we were last here. There aren't any big ones going out yet, thank goodness as well. Mbappe signed that new deal. We've got a full complement to choose from today. There's one young keeper going out on loan who signed last summer. And in fact, there's a couple of players that have come in. So Angel Galera is one of them. He's a 20-year-old centre-half who isn't going to make it. And the other one was interesting, because we played against River Plate in the group stages, and straight after that game, an offer went in for this 18-year-old winger, who looks like he's going to be an absolute world beater as well. But at 18 years of age, Thomas Suarez, who created a couple of chances against us, is now a Manchester United player, although he went straight back out on loan to River Plate for the rest of the season. So Manchester United doing some work in the summer, not sure where they're going to spend that 112 million, but the squad is in pretty good nick. And we've got to reflect on a team that has done an awful lot for us, really. When you look at some of the players that have come back from loan, they are ready to step up for this first team. We look at Timur Erdogan. He is 2.5-star ability. He's a very solid footballer. Rhet Nieto is better than Van den Voort now. He is definitely the second best keeper at Manchester United. And even going forward, I know there's a few ageing players, but Fraser McIntyre featured a lot in our Europa Conference run in the first year. He's a very solid central midfielder now and could certainly do a job for this football club. I wouldn't have minded having them earlier on in this Club World Cup either. But for us, it will be a swan song at Manchester United today. A very big game against Bayern Munich. I've mentioned it countless times. Their side is incredible, and I would give anything for that to be my last management job, but I don't think we're going to get the opportunity. Maybe, if all goes well at Real Madrid, we can rebuild them in 2 or 3 years, and then we just get a season at Bayern? I don't know. But the 3 players I'd love to manage in that team. Kim Jae-woo is only 24. He's ridiculous. Look at him. Look at the quality they've got in centre mid there. I know he's suspended today, but Lucas Dennis in the number 10, just remarkable. We've got no players by Yakubu that are like this. And then Abdurrahman up front is basically the regeneration of Mbappe, but he's only 24. I'd love to have that side, even for a year, but I don't think it's going to happen. And don't forget Alex Canho, who Manchester United sold for about 25 million here, and then bought in Amponza from the same club for 50 million more. I'd still say Canyo's the better of the two. But with all of that done, we've got to get through the tactical meeting. They are missing a couple of stars here, but they're a very good side. And for us, we know this is one hell of a difficult test. We've achieved an awful lot of this club. We've won now the Champions League. We've won 3 back-to-back league titles. And we've won 1 FA Cup and 1 League Cup. But we haven't won this one. And this is the opportunity to do so. So let's go and get through to the lineups. A shame it's only a 20,000 seater this is being played in. We're going to have to bring Russell Thompson in on the right wing. It's fitting that he plays in our last game. I'll have to call him Robbie if we win it. And then on the bench, well, Yakubu's going to be there, as is Zolis. But neither of them are in any shape to come on. It's purely to collect a medal if we get one. So Pavati will play at left back. We're going as full strength as we possibly can here. And then Magno Luiz is the other man who wouldn't normally be first choice. But with the 2 injuries to our first choice wingers, and with his hat-trick that won us the game in the semi-final, I don't feel like I can leave him out of this side. That means our 11 for today is Fournier in goal. Crucial saves again in the quarter and semi-final. Gaia and Pavati, 2 of the best fullbacks in the world. But Sony building his fitness again with Inacio at centre-half. And Ponza and Hannibal in the middle. Again, still a weakness in centre midfield with Jalocca gone. You compare that to Kim at Bayern Munich, and really, he should be getting eaten up in there, Hannibal. We've got Thompson and Luiz, the wingers, Boy at the number 10. And Kylian Mbappe here for 1 more year. Or can he finish on a high? We didn't expect to have him available for this game till he signed that contract, 2 days before he was due to be released. But we've got him now, and he's got an opportunity to become a hero and win it all with Manchester United. Into the Bayern game we go. I've no idea how this is going to pan out. Bayern should be favourites on paper, but whether it works out that way, we'll wait and see. 4 changes for Bayern Munich. I'll be really interested to see what you guys think in the comments. Who's going to win? Bayern have brought back their star Greek centre-half. They've got Kim in centre midfield alongside Canyo, who replaces the suspended Dennis. And then they've still got that experience of Adeyemi and Havertz. Of course, the striker, the captain, missed the semi-final against us in the Champions League. That might be the difference in this one. But Lucas Dennis missing, you could say the same thing. They've definitely got the better side on paper, but thankfully for us, football isn't played that way. We're going to ask the lads to carry on their last performance. We're going to start attacking as we normally do. If it looks bad after 5 or 10 minutes, I might bottle it. I'm not going to promise you I won't. Let's get through the tunnel interview though. This is a big event. If we can be European and world champions, it's the perfect way to go out. It'll be a classic mic drop and off to Real Madrid. Let's get into it and see if we can achieve just that. And I noticed immediately, if you look at the fitness, Bayern were all over the place, though it's not making a difference here. Abdurrahman runs the length and he puts it wide of the post. But let me pause it when this finishes. Look at the Bayern fitness at the moment. Why is it so bad? Maybe our back-to-back 3-day training rest between the last group game, the quarter-final and the semis. Maybe they've had an impact because we look top dollar. And if in the second half we can take advantage of that, the AI squad management, the training regimes they set up, we've talked about it so many times in this save. Well, maybe they'll be costly for the favourites again because they should be the best team, they should be winning this, but they've left themselves in a state coming into this final. Well, a quarter of the game gone. Bayern have had the only shot on target and it's been a quiet one, but look at the fitness for them. They've got nearly every player in the condition where I'd be considering subs. And it has become an operation of staying in the game for us here. I genuinely feel if at the hour mark we're level or even maybe 1 behind, we've got a great chance to get the win here because we've got such a big physical advantage. As Bassoni gets the ball at the back, not much pressure being applied, that press gets slightly slower, the closing down isn't quite there, and we get a bit more space as Pavati plays through. That's a shocking pass, and he's straight through to Mashi and the keeper. We have got to be careful of yellow cards like Hamponza there, who's having a poor game, because it's the only thing that's a leveller, as Abdurrahman's in. Bassone not done well there at all. Looks a little bit rusty still after that long-term injury, but so does Abdurrahman. That's 2 shots he's blazed high and wide. Well, at half-time, it's been a pretty dismal game, to be honest, but that's what happens when you have a stupid drawn-out tournament over the summer. No one's had a break, no one's had a holiday, and the players look leggy on both sides. And unfortunately, that's why this tournament's a bad idea. I'm going to take off Emmanuel Amponza. He's going to be replaced, I think, by Casal. What I want to do is put Boyer into midfield and just push Casal up as a number 10 there. I think that gives us a chance. We've got some quality on the bench if we need it, but I want to trust our first team. With the physical advantage, the quality and the better conditioning should show for us in the second half. We are now getting on top of the stats. We've got the higher expected goals, but we're just not seeing those great chances. As Gaia gets it at right back, 58 gone, I'm going to start encouraging these boys as Bassone brings it out. Might have to think about taking him off soon as well. It has been a big, long time out for him, and I don't want him to play back-to-back 90 straight away. As Boyer turns in midfield, this is why we put him deeper. He's carried it so far. I thought he'd put that in the top corner for a minute, just wide of the post. It's a stunning effort, but unfortunately it's not to be, as Mbappe's got a corner to the back post. Inacio's up, heads just over the bar. Magno Luiz is struggling physically, so he's going to be the next one off. I'm going to bring on Marcus Rashford. He's very good in that position. He's still got quality, and we know that he likes to score goals. And don't forget, he's cutting in a couple of the previous games and put ones in the top corner. As Bayern play out from the back, but there's no legs left. Boyer picks it up in midfield. He finds Bassone and Inacio. Bassone again into Hannibal. Up to Casal. There's basically no pressure at all. It's into Rashford. It's a great save by Machian, who's keeping his side in it. He is one of the best keepers in world football. Not as good as ours, mind you. And Mbappe will take the corner to the back post. Inacio's up. Good save again. Who do we take off next? I'm thinking Hannibal. I'm going to take him off. I'm going to bring on Ashagumbi. We've got 20 minutes left. We've got to find a winner somewhere. We are dominating this game, but we just can't get the goal against a very weary and deep-lying team. As Casal finds Rashford on the left. This is a chance. Back to Casal. Hits the bar. Absolutely smashes the woodwork. Come on, we're going to encourage you again. You've got to find a way through this side. Please let it be extra time and not penalties, because that gives us a massive advantage. As Boyer finds Casal into Rashford. Oh, it's close for offside. I don't know if I want to celebrate yet. Casal's been brilliant since he came on at half-time, and it would be fitting if two of the subs combined. The goal's awarded. It's going to count. I've got to see that again, because it didn't look like it was onside. Oh, it was. There was a player right back on the line. Why did we even go to it? Damsgaard was all the way back there. And he's cost his team there big time. We're into 4 minutes added on. Saravia's got it at the back. Bayern throwing everyone forward. But there's not many legs back there. And you can see Bassone's first to it as Inacio finds Pavati. Can we get a bit of icing on the cake now? Bring out a party piece late on. Rashford picks it up on the left. Agumbi into Mbappe. Two runners. One of them's Russell Thompson. What a moment this would be. Imagine if Russell Thompson had scored our last goal. Still not capped by Scotland. Still call him Robbie every now and then. But he almost had the chance to wrap it up. And I wish he'd taken it, because the last kick is a Bayern corner. Rashford away as far as Kim. Gets it right side of the box. Why are we still playing? It doesn't matter. Pavati intercepts. Rashford clears downfield. And the referee's final whistle goes as Manchester United, in our final game, will lift the Club World Cup. If that isn't the best way to go out, I don't know what is. European champions, world champions, and domestic champions in the same season. Yes, we bottled the domestic cups, but we won them the season before. And who cares when you're here lifting the Club World Cup? I would not like to be the manager picking up this mess next season, because with no break and an ageing squad, it's going to be very difficult for United to do well again. What I'd love to see when we move next week is whether they can maintain their Premier League title next season. Because we saw with Palace, they dropped like a stone when we left the club, albeit at a very different level. But I do wonder with this squad whether Manchester United are great or we're just taking advantage of poor AI management. We're going to find out, of course, when we go for a big rebuild next week at Real Madrid. But I just want to see on the off chance, does Nagelsmann get sacked? Do we get a chance at the Bayern job? Because that would ultimately be the dream. Well, a narrow 1-0 victory in the Club World Cup final. It was a late goal against a side that had been mismanaged in terms of fatigue. And it was a silly tournament, the way it was organised. However, we win it. We get money into the club. And I guess it's fitting that the 35-year-old Marcus Rashford, who I think has spent his whole career here. Yeah, he's gone nowhere else. 524 league games, 179 league goals. And he scores the winner to make Manchester United world champions. Excellent effort from him. The biggest overachievers are the South American side, who beat Real Madrid in the group stages, don't forget, to get through to the quarters against Bayern. That shows the task we've got to rebuild the Galacticos, because They were the only European side not to get through the groups and win both games. I did want to check though as promised to see if the Bayern job had come up. Nagelsmann going nowhere. Porto is the only other one available at the minute. But Real Madrid is the job we're going to take. We get the offer in 7 days, we'll negotiate that on camera, and then we'll say goodbye to Manchester United. Well, we're back after a week of desperately hoping, watching and looking and hoping that the Bayern Munich job would come up. It hasn't happened, and we are approached by Real Madrid, having delayed it twice already. We're not getting away with another one. So we are going to take this job. We've achieved everything we need to with Manchester United. Of course, we won't be judged on the Club World Cup because we've already gone through it. Real Madrid didn't even get out the groups. We've got to reach the last 16 of the Champions League, the top 4 of La Liga. And in fact, actually, I say the top 4. Is it a top 3 league anymore? It is still second, despite the fact all of the other top 5 leagues have produced Champions League winners and finalists with regularity. And Spain hasn't done that. So I'm not sure how it's second. Their sort of 5th and 6th sides must be doing really well in the Europa League or Europa Conference. We've got to reach the final of the Spanish Cup. And did they win the Spanish Cup last year? Because it says they're in the Super Cup. Although isn't it between all 4 sides now? There's a semi-final and a final in Spain, isn't there? So it's an interesting job. It's a rebuilding job. It's not walking into a club that's top of their nation, as we've got here. We are going to have to do a little bit of work. And one of the things I wanted to point out before we take this job is the club culture is about signing players under the age of 23. And I'm going to give you a very sneak preview of what we've got to expect when we join Real Madrid, because they've signed 2 players this summer already. We talked about the transfer budgets not being great, but on the 1st of July, they signed Juan Foyth, who's now 35 years of age as centre-half, and Pedro Neto on a free from Wolves, who's now 33 years of age. Both good players, don't meet the criteria at all. So we have got a very difficult situation. I liken it a bit to Palace, where you've got a club that wants to get this brilliant young side, and in this case, return to where they feel they rightfully belong. But they haven't got the budget to do it. 30 million transfer budget is nothing for Real Madrid. Loads of old heads on massive money that they can't shake off. And I'm guessing a real test for our credentials as we come towards the twilight of our career too. So we are going to accept this offer. In fact, we're going to try and get a bit of extra money first, because we are, as it stands, taking a pay cut to come here. And they're offering us a 3-year deal, which takes us up to when they want to challenge for the title. I'd like to get close to that before then. So I want to go up to 125 grand a week. Let's suggest that. They've gone for 120, but they've offered us an extra year as well, which gives us great security if it does go wrong and we do get a sack in. This is the first head coach on camera that we haven't had a sack in yet. So I'm imagining there might be one to come. So an extra year, an extra 10 grand a week. We've got to take it. We are now going to be the Real Madrid manager, and Manchester United is a club we'll be saying goodbye to at the end of this episode. So we know what's coming in the next one. For now though, I do want to reflect very quickly on our time at United, and more the reason we're leaving, because I think even if we hadn't had a club to go to, I would have left United this summer. In that case, we could have maybe just had a year off and then gone for an international job. I know a few of you mentioned that in the comments, but the fact that we've got a whole year before the next international tournament just means there's not really many of the big jobs about. There are only a few middle ground ones in the international scene. But the main reason we're leaving is the same problem we're inheriting at Real Madrid, is the same problem we had at Palace. Because the stars of this squad at the top end, Kylian Mbappe 34, we've obviously got Rashford and Sancho in their mid-30s too. Then Inacio, Zolis, both starters at the moment, 31 years of age. Other players over 32, and more importantly, very few under the age of 25. I know Yakubu's an absolute superstar there, but the younger ones are ones who are just flirting with loan deals or nowhere near the starting 11. So it is a club where we can perhaps expect to decline, particularly offensively. They've got a few good young defenders, but going forward, there's not much youth and exuberance in that side. So we're going to be leaving Manchester United. I really can't wait to see how they get on without us. When you consider how comfortably we've won the league, I've mentioned it numerous times, it's been the easiest thing to win. When we talk about the consistency of the AI sides with their really experienced squads, ageing squads, fatigue management not being the best, I'll be interested to see if they win it next year. And who takes charge? Is it going to be someone as bad as Niko Kovac, or are they actually going to get a good manager? But for us, We are going to be Real Madrid manager in the next episode. We'll go through our first day in the job, meet all the staff and players we're going to be working with, and of course look forward to a rebuilding job in La Liga as we have to catch Barcelona, Atletico Madrid, and start to put some distance between us and the rest. If you're looking forward to that though, and you did enjoy seeing us become world champions, albeit only thanks to AI squad management, then please do put a thumbs up on the video, subscribe down below for daily FM22 content from 2 long-term stories. Let me know in the comments what you think of the move. We're not going to a club that's dominating, so we're going to have to do a bit of work. But what do you think is going to happen? If you want to stay up to date and find out, we will be back here in 2 days' time. In the meantime, you can find links in the eye above to the Hemel Save, where we'll have a big transfer special tomorrow, the Twitch channel, the football podcast, and the new merchandise store too. But we've got 2 days now to catch our flight to Spain, get over to Real Madrid, and meet our new staff and players for the very next episode. Above my head now, though, is a link to a recent episode from the Hemel Save. Please do check that out if you haven't already. I'll see you here in a couple of days' time for our first day in a new job. Haven't said that for a while, have we?